This is considered the most powerful revenge film ever made in India. Its story is not only deeply moving, but also heartbreaking. It tells the tale of an ordinary, honest man who is slowly driven to become a killer. The story begins 15 years ago, when two thieves kidnapped the wife and daughter of a wealthy man. Even after the homeowner handed over millions worth of gold and jewelry, the thieves refused to stop. Their goal wasn't just robbery. They wanted to violate the women as well. After dragging the young girl into a room, one of the men subjected her to brutal, inhumane abuse. Meanwhile, the other man hesitated outside the door for a full 3 seconds before walking away. But they didn't stop at assault and theft. They committed murder too. The lavish mansion, worth tens of millions, was burned to ashes. Then the thieves returned home and used the stolen fortune to dote on their own families. One of them, George, had a loving, gentle wife and an energetic, adorable daughter. He loved them deeply, but his love was built on the suffering of an innocent family. And that love, twisted in its origin, would ultimately bring devastating consequences. One day, George accidentally spilled a pot of boiling water onto his daughter's shoulder. He carefully tended to her wound, but the scar would remain with her for life. Soon after, it was his daughter's first birthday. To celebrate, he used the stolen money to throw her a lavish party. Trying to make up for the scar on her shoulder, George took his wife and daughter to the most upscale jewelry store in the city. The shop owner laid out their most expensive pieces, but George dismissed them all as too cheap. His wife, practical and modest, didn't believe he could afford such luxury. George insisted that he had saved up money over the years and wanted to use it to buy the most extravagant piece for his daughter. Since nothing in the store caught his eye, he asked the jeweler to design a custom necklace. Eventually, they came across design number 32 on the blueprint, a double-horned pendant that his daughter immediately fell in love with. But the necklace was astronomically priced. The jeweler explained that it contained rare rubies from Starbucks mines, jewels worth well over $1 million. His wife broke into a cold sweat upon hearing that. She knew there was no way they could earn that kind of money in several lifetimes. She thought George was joking, but he insisted, dead serious, that he could afford it. Seeing how determined he was, she stopped questioning him. In the end, they purchased the necklace for $1.5 million. 2 days later, George received a notification and returned to the store to pick up the necklace on the very day of his daughter's birthday. Family and friends had already begun arriving at their home with gifts and well wishes. Holding the precious necklace in his hand, George felt immense joy. Looking at the finely cut diamonds and thinking of his beloved daughter, he was overcome with emotion and burst into happy tears. Wanting to look sharp and refreshed for the celebration, he stopped by a barbershop to get a shave. But that very barbershop would mark the beginning of his downfall. Justice, at last, was on its way.